you talked about if you take a day off, you're looked at like people give you like a sideways look. I don't know if you remember sharing that
Oh
before.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind going into that because that's also part of the
Well,
premise of the
well,
show
and I
as
learned
well?
I learned early on, and that if I was going to lead, I didn't have the skills that maybe I needed, and that came first with when Brad Knoll, Sublime, was suffering out there from addiction, and I
Mhm.
didn't have the tools myself to probably help him the way I wished I had. So I
This is
went
the lead singer of Sublime we're talking
Sublime,
about, just
yeah,
for those that are yeah,
who
right.
passed
Mhm.
away
Yeah.
right after that first Warped Tour. So I
Mm.
made a conscientious effort to go learn how we can help artists that are in need,
That's
uh,
beautiful. Yeah.
which eventually led to all the work I did with Music Cares,
Mhm.
and eventually having Mike Farr, an actual traveling counselor, with us on the road.
Mm.
And we would be able to. I got to the point where we could kind of see when someone was really struggling, and have an intervention out on the road. We sent
Mm.
people to the road to rehab while we were on the road.
Wow.
We
Whoa! And you're like, "You actually gotta hold off on this date or 2 so you can take care of yourself?" Like, was it
Yeah.
like
Oh
that?
yeah, or we're going to
Right?
send
Mhm.
you off of this tour for a while. Not only
Wow.
artists but crew people, so you can get yourself right because you may not survive. And that you know
Mm.
that and then it's also led to understanding that in the music industry everyone's a commodity. Hate to say it, they really are. Whether you are the
Including, like, on the even on the business side, like, some of the biggest A&Rs have, like, come and go like, you know what I'm saying? It's so unstable and volatile that you're really not safe anywhere. I just wanna, like, put that out there. It's
oh, the
true.
crew people.
Yeah.
It was like I know that
Yeah.
you know I had my moments out on the road. It
Yeah.
was like, so we started having that kind of understanding, and I think it was that experience allowed me to understand that when someone needed some help or needed
Can I
some
share a story with you real quick though on the
Sure.
topic here? So I took a meeting at William Morris once with an agent, which is one of the biggest like music agencies, and I was gonna partner. I'm not naming names, but I was gonna partner with a manager who had just been fired by two of his biggest acts, left him, and I was telling this agent at William Morris, I'm gonna partner with this manager, and Kevin, he's like, why would you do that? He just lost his two biggest artists. I'm like, just that comment really rubbed me the wrong way because he helped build these artists into superstars, and I'm like, so you're going to discount his whole like 10-year run that quickly? It was just like alarming to me. Does that make sense? Like it
Oh
was
no,
just like
it's
it was
our
like wow.
industry. Our industry
Yeah.
is notorious for that. Okay,
Yeah.
in one way,
Dehumanizing though.
it's
Dehumanizing. It's
it,
like
it's
you yeah, go
it's
ahead.
notorious for that. And I always told people, and it's something I had prepared for, and I don't think other people have. I said, once you stop making people money, your phone stops ringing from a lot of people. Okay, I made help people make a lot of money. I really did. I did fine, but I left a lot of money on the table. So people were able to make money, and trust me, people would respond in emails. People would call. I call in. When in our industry also getting old is an issue.
It
Okay,
is. It
and
is.
getting old, youth is the eternal youth of being in the entertainment business. So people
Yeah.
struggle with it, struggle with it, struggle with it, and when you have health issues, you people stop shy away from each other in our industry. They
Mm,
really do.
mm.
I had the double kind of whammy at the end of Warped Tour, which was kind of I knew I stopped making people money, and I stopped. My health went a little south. I had physically because I had worked so hard, my
Mm,
health was a little bad, and I had some surgery. So you really
mm.
realize who your 20 true people. Everyone's a friend in the music. You know how everyone says that my best friend this as they're all stabbing each other in the back
Yeah,
and they're talking shit.
that's right
I'm
there.
like, you really realize the 20
Yeah.
people who were close when you hear from them when you stop making them money and you have some health issues. And it was okay. It was
Hmm.
okay. I was cool with it. I
That
was
didn't
cool.
that didn't bum you out? That didn't bum you out?
No, I
Oh,
knew.
man.
Well, I knew for 12 because I sat there and that's what I learned working in those
Oh,
clubs for
man.
320 nights a year early on in my career. I would watch these people patty. I was like a fly on the wall because I was the production guy, and
Mhm.
I'd watch everyone hugging and doing this, and then 5
And you're
minutes
like,
later, when
"You
the person
knew,
walked
you knew."
away, people were just talking shit, and it was like,
Mhm,
so I
mhm,
realized it's
yeah.
you separate your lives in some ways. So it was like I said, I could always do business with anyone. I could figure out how to do business with anyone. But you really knew who were my friends when you came to a barbecue at my house.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's for sure. I think Oprah says, like, everybody wants to ride in a limousine with you, but you want somebody that when the limo breaks down, they'll get on the bus with you. Like, that's
Ex-
really what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's helpful. It's
Mhm.
okay. So I love
Mhm.
randomly just still do this. I'll just randomly call people.
Mm.
Just say, hey, just
Just to
checking in
check
on
on
you.
them. Yeah, that's
That's
beautiful.
how you do. And they
Yeah.
go, well, what do you need? I go, nothing. Just checking in on you.
That's beautiful, man. That's
And
beautiful.
it kind of throws people for a loop in our industry. So,
I
but the nice
know.
thing
Yeah.
is the young people coming into the industry, and that's where I figure my best time used right now. I'm teaching
Mm.
them that you can do good and do good business. There's nothing wrong with making a nice living in the business, but you can do good.
Can
So
you can
invent
you keep your morals and your integrity, like, more or less intact and still have a successful career in music? And you're
Yes,
convinced you can?
and not everyone's going to like you. You realize that. You have to realize that not everyone's going to like you, but I
Mhm.
but if you do good, they're going to respect you.
Mm.
And I
Hmm.
think we all once I realized that, because I thought everyone had to be like you, but I realized some people don't like Kevin Lyman. That's okay. But I don't
But
know why. I always ask them.
they respect what you've done, even those that kind of aren't on board with you can
Yeah,
still
and
respect, but
and if someone really, some of those people that didn't like me on the internet, I'd say, hey, come meet me. I'd love to chat about what I did so
yeah.
wrong. Maybe I can learn from that.
Yeah, now wait, talk about that because you mentioned again death threats and things getting really heavy and your family getting threatened. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And
but
like where did that start? And just maybe just the quick Reader's Digest to that. I
well,
want to know.
the internet. It used to be when there was an issue, people would
Yeah,
come over and talk. It was called "Come Talk Under Bus One." My tent
right.
was Bus One, and most of us could have a conversation.
Hmm.
But then I was getting older, and I was touring with young people. I
Right.
mean, Warp Tour went around 25 years, so
Hmm.
sometimes we got to a point where we were touring. There was people in their late teens and 20s on the tour, early 20s on the tour, and people in their 60s on the tour.
Wow.
So you're
Hmm.
trying to blend all these like things together to be able to be that community that can travel down the road. And
Yeah.
sometimes people are not going to agree.
Hmm.
Or early on, I knew the bad eggs in punk rock, and I just didn't get involved with them.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm. Didn't
I
care.
depended
It
on
didn't matter if there was money to be made. Like
yeah,
you wouldn't do
I just
business with
avoided
them,
them.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
But
Hmm.
then later on,
Hmm.
I was kind of dependent on managers, agents, record labels, people telling me about people that I should bring on the tour.
Hmm.
But they didn't fill me in the blanks that maybe they didn't even know that this person maybe had a little bit of a shady past, or maybe, something going on.
Hmm.
So I was like, and we couldn't do background checks on all 1,000 people that were on that
Right.
tour.
Right.
And then if I found out there was a problem, many times I did with that, I didn't bring him that summer with me.